Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. The E-commerce Minute, episode 254.
In today's episode, PayPal buys fraud detection platform Simility.
PayPal continued its acquisition streak with the recent acquisition of Simility, a specialist in AI-based fraud and risk management. The California-based company offers AI and machine learning-based tools to online merchants to help prevent fraudulent transactions. The deal is said to be worth $120 million, all in cash. PayPal was previously an investor in Simility with a 3% stake in the company. The deal is expected to close in Q3. Simility's fraud management platform uses a set of APIs and beacons that monitor digital transactions and buying activities wherever they happen to take place, on mobile, web, or in physical environments. Augmenting these with machine learning and feeds from other data sources, it creates something it calls adaptive risk management, a changing approach and protection strategy based on what the threat of the moment might be. Digital commerce has exploded and fraudsters have taken note, adapting and developing new methods to carry out their crimes, said Bill Reddy, Chief Operating Officer of PayPal, in a statement. PayPal has been at the forefront of developing innovative fraud prevention and risk management solutions for nearly 20 years now. But until now, merchants haven't been able to configure those solutions to manage the unique complexities of their businesses. Together with Simility, we will be able to put more control in the hands of our merchants to fight fraud, helping make commerce experiences faster and more secure. Recent acquisitions by PayPal include European mobile payments and financial services like iZettle, payments aggregator Hyperwallet, and AI-based CRM specialist Jetlore. Online fraud continues to be a problem for e-commerce merchants of all sizes. PayPal's acquisition of companies like Simility help arm their 237 million customers with the tools they need to keep their transactions safe and platforms running smoothly. Simility. Wasn't able to dig deep enough to see exactly what this looks like, but I guess it watches behavior and sees behavior being clicks, mouse movement, things like that. I don't know how it works. It says it also monitors in the real world. I don't know how that works.
So a lot of these will go by phone numbers, zip codes, where they're coming from, how they're coming from. So it's a lot of data all at the same time. These fraud protection ones are getting better and better, but of course the fraud guys are getting better and better too. So it's a constant fight. It's a huge problem in the e-commerce world. We've dealt with it over the years with clients in different ways, actually. Some are like automatic, some are, the problem with like automatic, it catches sometimes the wrong things. Sometimes the way
it'll close out a transaction that isn't actually fraudulent, and then all you've got is an angry customer with money.
Yeah. So it's always the balancing act of how do you handle those kind of things, So yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, that's going to be a fight. That's just be constant. Obviously, the more e-commerce grows, the more fraud you're going to see.
Right. As Bill Reddy said, the fraudsters are adapting and developing new methods to carry out their crimes because criminals are smart, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, look, no matter what system you use, no matter what security you have, people will always try to go around it and do damage. That's just, it is what it is, right? It's just being ahead of it is where the play is, right?
That's the hard part. And I guess using the AI and building their algorithms, it increases the speed. And lessens the chance for a false positive on a bad transaction.
Yeah, I mean, look back in the day. When you had a Windows machine, malware, and everything else, and viruses was the game, right?
Yep.
Now you'd see it. They're still happening, but this is bigger, right? It's a bigger piece of the pie. I mean, you can go with the Superman 3 or Office Space. Take the 2 cents that nobody sees.
Yeah.
Deal, or you can just do fraud a lot of it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways of doing this. I mean, Amazon and eBay have a humongous problem with fraud, because how many people are selling on eBay, and then people are trying, but then they're buying on Amazon and shipping from Amazon, and then it's like a whole basically it's not it's not really illegal if you really think about it, but it's fraud.
Right, but they're dealing with it at scale, which is harder to police.
Right.
So a tool like this may, as it gets smarter, as the machines get smarter.
Anywhere you deal with money, there's going to be fraud.
Oh, absolutely. So great acquisition for PayPal. They're trying to be a one-stop shop for all things e-commerce. When we're looking at these acquisitions. So what I was saying is like PayPal and Square and all these other, the other payments companies, they're all kind of building their little kingdoms. If someone wants to start something in e-commerce, it's a one-stop shop. And they're making it harder and harder to choose between. So because you have to look at payments, you have to look at all the little things in between. And when you make all these offerings of all these little add-on products, it makes it harder to look at the other guy. And I think PayPal's doing a great job with that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Got anything else?
No, that's it, sir.
All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet on Monday. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.